The dragon fruit is one of the most overpowered fruits for PvP, and it currently holds the #1 spot for the most valuable fruit in the game. The physical fruit value for the West Dragon is currently at a whopping 1 billion. These insanely high values can get you most perms in the game, and I'm going to be trying to obtain a dragon starting from the quite opposite of high trading value, the rocket fruit. Of course, to get started, first I had to get rid of everything except for one rocket fruit. But wait, you clicked on this video to see me go completely free to play, but this won't be the case for the entire video. Let me explain. I created a Robux bank system in which I can trade for perms and game passes. To give an example, if I trade a kitsune for 1 fruit storage, it would add 400 Robux of value to the bank, and I would be able to spend that 400 Robux on a game pass for trading or save it up to buy more valuable perms and profit off of bigger trades. I will of course not give myself free Robux items or free fruits in any kind of way, including faking trades. Every trade you see in this video was found and done legitimately. With all of that out of the way, let's finally get started. I started off this challenge by rolling my first fruit. And I got a spin. I then went AFK in the second sea until a fruit spawned, and not gonna lie, it was kinda hard to find, but I got a sand. I started going AFK again until factory. I didn't get anything good, and that process repeated until the 8th fruit where I got my first legendary fruit. It wasn't anything special, just a phoenix, and a few rolls later I found a spider fruit. But besides that, I kept rolling fruits, and eventually got my first valuable fruit. It did take a while to load in, but it was a rumble. My luck only continued from there as the fruit in my hand loaded in to be a venom. With this inventory, I decided it was time to start trading, and the first trade I decided to go for was a Trex. Apparently the person sitting in front of me didn't use blocks fruits values like an NPC because he gave me double of what I asked for, a control fruit. Okay, he was just showing his superiority, but the next person actually gave me a control. Control was double T-Rex's value at 40 meters instead of a measly 20. Anyways, I traded for a while until in this random server I found an offer for 2 Buddhas and 2 portals, which are 4 very good ads. But the problem was I didn't have a fruit to add these ads onto, so I ended up doing the same trade back to control after trying for a while. I then finally traded my control for a dough and Buddha from this random in chat. I then flipped only the dough back for a control from this guy in Discord. The method was trading control for dough and a good ad, then trading only the dough back for another control. I repeated this process a couple times. Having now quadrupled my inventory value, my plan was to get more ads and try to get up to a kit. I ended up trading my dough up to a control again. Anyways, this loser scammed me for a free 3 out of 3, so I decided to co his off. Right after I calmed down by giving this guy with dragon backshot. Got this decent trade for a better ad that my friend decided to do. Later I found this small W for 2 rumbles with my Buddha. I was about to do this ginormous W, but he cancelled and told me to add 1 more fruit, which didn't make this less of a W. This guy from Discord was offering 2 gas for a Yeti, which was pretty decent overpay. Did the control to dough and Buddha trade again. And again with Shadow. I was on Discord and found a guy willing to trade his 2 Leos for my gas and Buddha, which was a sizable W. Right afterwards I traded the 2 kitties for 4 sticky items. Now I had 4 sticky substances, which meant it was time to get rid of them, and I traded my nut and Shadow for a control. Got another control from 1 singular dough. Random miner wanted 3 doughs in exchange for a gas, and you know I had to do that. After a lot of back and forth convincing, I managed to talk Gojo into doing this Yeti trade, which was a pretty nice W. I traded a Yeti and gas for a kitsune from this guy in Discord, which I was slight overpaying. I traded that kitsune down into this overpay offer. This was my inventory now, if any of y'all are wondering. Later downgraded my Leo into this decent offer. Traded 2 control and Trex for this gas. Then downgraded my dough to these mythicals. So basically the strat was you go to a second sea server and find a noob that doesn't know values and intimidate them with all these mythicals, and if they have a good mythical fruit like control or something that they don't realize is worth that much, you can trade a way worse value fruit for it like a venom or spirit, etc. Exactly that happened as I did this trade for control. And again with this trade for T-Rex and Buddha. I got a legendary pull from this huge overpay offer. I joined his private server and I thought he was trolling, but he actually ended up going through with it. And after I paid my respects saying "Tism." Thankfully he wasn't Indian and I still kept my fruits.
Anyway, I present to you. On a random Friday, a young kid, or should I say YN, named Pra held a gas fruit in hand. He had declined Sir CC2's offer for this gas, and made his way to the other side of the cafe. CC2 then made his way over, asking PRA politely to trade him his precious gas. "Or you can trade me gas," His Majesty said. Prod then made his goals clear, and that was to finish a dough raid. An exchange of sentences then occurred.
Please.
"If you give me gas for my offer, I'll help you as many times as you want."
Only if we do 3 dough raid.
"How about 2, little boy?
Okay, 9
You
times.
dare defy me?"
Friend me so it's true.
And so he did. The trade then commenced. They made their way over to the raid room and commenced the raids. In the middle of the raid, CC2 asked a question. "Yo, Pra,
Yeah.
can I get the fruits I gave you back after I do all the raids? Please, Daddy, I really need it."
Cause you're so Nisiar, I will gift you Perm Dragon. And give you the fruits back.
"Thank you so much." He had used his manipulation tactics to ask the kid for his fruits back, resulting in basically a free gas for CC2.
No problem, I never found nice person like ever. You're the best.
Minutes later, CC2 had successfully finessed this poor little kid. Of course, the kind CC2 did not stop doing the raids.
I'm so happy.
I'm going PP.
Once CC2 finished the second to last raid, PRA had for some reason left the game, and he came back homeless, because 2 days later CC2 had caught Pra with his pants down. He joined his server just to see the chat filled up with him begging for a dragon, and he immediately started begging CC2, resulting in CC2 unfriending his dumbass.
After gaining that free gas, I got another gas with this offer. It's a teeny overpay, but still a W for me. Traded down my control into a dough and mammon. And traded dough for a control again. Got this small upgrade to a Buddha for my mammon. Finessed a rumble 2 out of this random. I found a level 900 guy and he gave a control for a rumble and Buddha. I decided to get rid of my 4 gas, so I found someone on Discord willing to give a kid for 3 gas. Then I downgraded my last gas for a Leo and 3 Buddhas. Small L, but 3 Buddhas is a lot of good ads. This was now my inventory after trading away all gases. After getting this offer for my control from Discord, in the same server I accidentally ended up getting this big W. I did the control trade right after that. I had been trying to trade down my controls and I still had 5 more to go, so I took some small L's to trade them for a bunch of ads. Anyways, I got some good news. Kitsune's value just rose by 30 meters. Also for all the real ones who know. So this guy without 2 storage DM'd me on Discord because I was looking for a gas and I gave him a pretty underpay offer and he accepted. Anyway, here is the first use of the Robix system. I was gonna trade a Kitsune, gas and 2 control for a Perm Diamond and some other game passes, but I ended up getting him to accept me removing 1 control. This added up to a total of 1100 Robux that I could spend. After a while I found this K-pop girl who was overpaying for 2x storage, but it turns out she can't write and wrote 2 storages as 2x storage, so I ended up doing this Perm Diamond and 3 Buddhas for 2 Kitsune's trade. By the way, Gravity got confirmed rework and skyrocketed in value. Made this small trade because I didn't find anything for a while. This guy was acting all sad and so I gave him a Trex. Anyways, made this trade for Gravity from this guy you saw earlier. Basically I found this huge W. He was trying to get 2 stat resets for 1 Yeti and I was about to go in debt 50 Robux, but he found a better offer and he felt bad and gave me some free fruits. IDK, I guess I kinda cheated here because I didn't count the stat resets as used Robux, but he did do that out of goodwill, so just think of it as someone giving a beggar free fruits. I ended up trading my kid for a fruit storage and a gas. Then this message appeared. Barrier and Falcon had gotten confirmed rework, so I made some quick trades for these fruits. Back to trading my Kitsunes, I added a control and this guy from Discord agreed to give me Perm Flame. After a lot of DMing I found a great overpay offer for my Perm Dark. Anyways, here's my inventory if you're wondering. I traded down my Kitsune into this slight overpay offer. Also traded my 2 Gravities and add up to a gas. Also downgraded my last Kitsune into a Yeti, gas and Trex. Kind of a small L now that I look back on it. Got this big W on a guy who didn't know value. And got some more Barriers and Falcons. I did this trade for gas which would have been a L, but control's value dropped after it didn't get a confirmed rework. traded an extra blizzard I had for a pain because it was also a highly requested rework fruit, although it isn't confirmed yet. Anyways, I then found a lot of trades in Discord. I wasn't finding anything for a while, so I traded down my gas for 2 gravities and a good ad, which is a pretty fair trade. Then I traded another gas for leopard and a gravity. In the same server I ended up doing this Yeti and T-Rex for fruit storage trade, which brought my bank account up to 500 Robux. Then I did this trade for Kitsune. A bit of a overpaid, but gas and Yeti are losing value. It was his birthday and he wanted light. So I ate 2 right in front of him. I ended up giving him a magma for his efforts. After that tragedy occurred, I traded 3 gravities for 2 leopards. Same guy who did the trade wanted another gravity, so I took his offer. After hours I finally found someone who had perm sand and wasn't overpricing it. I did this W trade for perm sand, bumping my bank up to 1350 Robux. Right afterwards I upgraded my remaining leopard and dough up for gas. And traded that gas down to a better trade, which was leopard and gravity. With 1350 Robux I did this perm dart for 2 kitsunes trade, which meant I still had 400 Robux left. I was trying to trade a fruit storage, but I ended up giving this guy fast boats for a big overpay offer. He gave me perm blade, which also meant an extra 100 Robux to da bank. Then I did a fair trade for a kitsune with my Yeti and ads. Now I had 3 kitsunes and some ads. Next trade I upgraded one of my venoms for a spirit. After so long of searching I finally got this trade for perm quake, which added 1500 Robux to the bank. And with already 150 Robux in the bank, it meant I could trade a perm Buddha. People offer East Dragon for perm Buddha. Anyways, after a while I didn't find this trade, so I ended up trading 3 mythical scrolls for 3 kitsunes and an ad, which brought my bank down to 150 again. I don't know why I did this L trade, but I did, so I need to show it. But I did get a redemption with this W trade for perm light, which brought the Robux I could spend to 1250. I found this huge overpay offer, which was a kid to a fruit storage. People usually do this if they're hella desperate. After staring at the blocks fruits trading tab for hours, I found this guy who wanted a fruit storage and some small ads for another KITSUNE. And not long after I found a guy who wanted X2 money for his kitsune, which is also big overpay. With this inventory I decided to try and get another kit, making up 4 kits for a dragon. I ended up trading my Yeti for 2 gas and a Buddha in hopes of trading Yeti and gas and ads for my last kitsune. Okay, so things took a wild turn at the end of this challenge. Basically what happened was I was staring at Discord, then suddenly Mr. Cat the cowboy wanted perm Buddha for his Eastern dragon, which was literally what I wanted ages ago, so I ended up going in debt 1650 Robux for this dragon. So the rest of this video is me getting out of debt and completing this video. First trade I did was overpaying for this kitsune to get 4 kitsunes, the perfect amount for a good perm. After hours and hours I found a guy who had perm magma for 2 kit Yetis, so I had to downgrade a kit into a Yeti again. Then I did the perm magma trade. I then overpaid for a fruit storage, quickly finishing this video, and finally I finished the challenge by getting a positive bank, and most importantly a dragon.